So start with the first question. What made you decide to become an architect?
My family influenced me a lot. My brother is an architect, and when I was little, I used to see him staying up doing school projects all night, and then it just became something beautiful. And I had a vague idea of what architecture was when I chose the major. So yeah, family influenced me a lot, and my mother was very supportive of it. Like me and my family members having same majors and to support each other.
Okay, so you were inspired by your brother, I guess?
Yeah.
I see. Next question will be, so you were studying architecture at Kyoto Institute of Technology, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
For 2 years, from 2018 to 2020.
Okay. Can you share to us how was your experience studying there? Studying in architecture school. Was there any challenges or interesting experience that you could share with us?
Yeah. In Japan, it was the first time I experienced architecture that is 400 and 500 years old. It was the first time because Mongolia didn't have that much historical architecture that's still standing now. So the first experience was mind blowing. Japan takes really good care of their historical architecture, and it did not look like that centuries old. And I was very surprised. The history of architecture was very interesting to me. You get to see how it was built back then and still using that method now to still maintain manage the buildings. And Japan approached architecture a little bit different than how I experienced it in Mongolia because of the history and the significance. And it's very, 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 how do you say, it's very precious. But in Mongolia, Mongolia has the type of architecture that's influenced by Soviet Russia a lot. And that's the building I grew up in. That's the building I see everywhere in Mongolia. But the shape, the structure, and the history was completely different. And that was hard to get used to. And well, the challenge was that, and obviously the language barrier was a little bit hard. I studied Japanese for 2 or 3 years before I went to Japan, but when I got there, I could not even buy bread from the supermarket. And that took a time to get used to also. And aside from that, I learned so many things from Japan, like how to appreciate architecture and how architecture should make you feel, all of that.
Okay. I found something interesting in your statement there. So you said that architecture in Japan was different from Mongolia. I would like to know how was it different? Is it in a good way, or
Yeah, in a very good way. Mongolia has because it's extremely cold here, we focus on small windows and small small windows and heating problems and all of that. That's just like they teach you this in the first year, almost on the first lesson, like how Mongolia is. But after learning that for years and years, I went to Japan and the doors are wide open, the windows, and I saw it from the pictures, but to experience it during Japanese winter myself was it was surprising. Even though it was cold, they still used open doors and open windows, and there are influences from Japanese cultures, but the openness of Japanese architecture, I guess, that was the first very surprising thing for me. And then the wooden structures of Japanese architecture, they were also totally new to me. And there was this assignment on wooden structures, and I did not do well on that. It was kind of hard, not hard, it was just new to me, I guess. Yeah.
So it was a unique experience, I would say.
It probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, to sum it up, that.
Yeah. Next question. So you have worked as an correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you have worked as an architect, an interior designer, and currently as an urban planner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting that you've experienced three not totally different but still different jobs. And do you have any advices on new upcoming architecture students on choosing their career path after graduation?
Hey, me as a person, I learn things when after I do them. Even if I don't know how to do it, I just start doing it and then learn it on the way. There are so many people with different learning methods, but as for me, just trying to do things worked. Yeah. I started to work as an architect, and then I went on doing interior design, and when I was working as an interior designer, I learned things in a very small scale, is how I should say it. I think as an area, you start to think of it you start to plan it as an architect, but in interior design, you start to think how you should do this, how you should create this space. And like you start to think of the materials and the methods of how to do it, and like I got to learn so many things from just doing interior design. And as for now, I am currently working as an urban planner, and I have studied a little bit of urban planning when I was studying in Japan, and I did my graduation thesis on urban planning, and how urban uh, plan makes people uh, feel, and I did a survey and research on that. And because I enjoyed doing my diploma, I actually wanted to try urban planning at least for a while. For now, I am working for an administration that's building a new city in a very historical land, and just starting from scratch. We as a whole administration, we are learning and gathering information from zero. So it's a very, 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 how do you say, good experience? It's a very good experience for now.
I think you should say what company or firm you're working for.
What project am I working on?
No, I mean what company you're working for as an urban planner.
The company I'm working for is a government administration for a new Harhodam city. An administration in charge of building new Harhodam city. That's the full name. And I work as an urban settlement planner expert. And the work that we do here is to manage the new development flow and development flow. And for now, we have only been established like in March, and since then we've been coming up with concepts for the new city, and planning a little bit, and just setting up standards for when the real planning starts. We are basically doing the groundwork for the construction of the new city.
Okay. I guess the next question should be what project are you working on as an urban planner currently? And what challenges or what do you find hard in your current project as an urban planner?
It's very major. Like, this is the first time I'm experiencing something like a project this big, and being a small part of it makes you so small, but you have to do what you can. But because the problems and the scale is so big, you get to learn much more and more than you've ever known. And you get to know some of the fields that you never thought you would learn. You have to learn it, and then just combine it with the knowledge you have, and then make solutions for the problems that's arising. And the new administration city project will be very big in the upcoming year. For now, we are still advertising our ideas to the people, and we ourselves are still learning. We are still deciding on what we should do and all that, because Mongolia has never built a city this major before. Only like satellite cities and satellite cities of the current capital. But now this project will influence the western side of Mongolia as a whole. And there are so many experts here working with us right now who are on top of their fields, and I get to learn so much from them. And the challenges we have faced will be there's so much more. There's so many, but currently, because we have like people's support for now, it's going like much faster than it should have. The concepts have been like advertised, and the planning and the 3D and the road networks and infrastructure solutions and all of that have been like introduced to the people of the people who should know. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it. The challenges will be greater from now on, I think, because like not much has been set in stone for now, but when it is like decided, like for me personally, I never thought I would have to learn politics, but here I am learning politics. That's the most challenging thing for me for now. And like the technologies that we use are like developing much faster than we learn them, and we have to research much more and more about the current technologies just to keep up with them. That's very challenging.
Oh, wait, by politics, what do you mean by learning politics? Is it like what is it? The rules for not true? Yeah, I mean,
well, not
constitution.
rules. It can be like very small, like politics on small things, like how that ministry works with that ministry, and then like what their on what terms they are on and all that. Like you have to expand your social circle a little bit more and get to know people more now. And because it's a very big project, you have to like meet with lots of people. And yeah, I just thought I would be like only planning stuff, but then it was not. for big projects, this is bound to happen. I guess I might be complaining about something not that hard, but like it's kind of hard.
I see. So you said this is the, I think, first major project in Mongolia for urban planning, right? And I'm curious, what is there any uh, previous project or stuff like that that you are using as a reference? I think, I guess.
Mm. We are using satellite cities. Do you know satellite cities? But like, yeah, we are using satellite city projects as a reference because they are in scale is very big projects, and like how they were implemented and all of that, we are basing our new city on top on them because they have like feasibility studies that's still in our climate, and like how the influence will how it will influence the capital city and what problems it's going to solve. We are learning from that and adding things on top of it because like the administration has never been moved from Ulaanbaatar like for 300 years. But before that, the kings just moved and settled somewhere, and they settled in Ulaanbaatar for like, and then it became like the capital city. But now the city, the administration will have to is planning to move to New Harhanam city, which is like 360 kilometers from Ulaanbaatar, and that in itself is a very like big move, so very far, and like how it's going to influence the western side of Mongolia and what problem it's going to arise and what problem it's going to solve. We are still researching it.
Moving on to the next question. How is urban planning working to improve living conditions in Mongolia?
Currently, Ulaanbaatar is very overpopulated. The first master plan for the city was made in 1950s, and from then on, it was revised and expanded at least like 4 or 5 times. But because of poor management and the not because of poor management, the city's attraction was very big, and the settlements start to happen before the plan was implemented. And there have been like a air district, we call them, with it's a district with no like basic infrastructures, and it's not connected to the heating line, and like it only has electricity, and most of it doesn't have like the planned road. Because people wanted to come to the city and just bought a land in a random place that's very close to the city, they started living there without any proper connection to the infrastructure of the city. And the Ger districts are very, very big. Like the scale is very big compared to the constructed side of the Ulaanbaatar, and the city, the downtown of Ulaanbaatar is continuing to build like major apartment complexes, and some of the new apartments doesn't have any green or playgrounds, and that's becoming a very big problem because people are very overpopulated in the small area, and like there are so many people who have no connection to the basic needs. And by building the new city, we are calculating that 500,000 people, which is like 1/3 of Ulaanbaatar, will decide to move to the new city, and thereby reducing the overpopulation and traffic, and air pollution is very bad in Mongolia also because of the Ger settlements, because people burn coals to keep warm in the harsh winter, and all those problems arise from overpopulation will reduce a little bit, and giving Ulaanbaatar time to manage the other problems. In Mongolia, like almost half of Mongolian population lives in Ulaanbaatar city, almost like 50%, which is like Mongolia has 3 million people, and 1.5 million people are focused on this like very small city. Like Ulaanbaatar city is like 0.03% of the whole Mongolian territory, and half of the population is living there. But then by building a new city, that inequality will decrease.
I would like to know how in the project after it's done, how do you plan on bringing the people from Ulaanbaatar to the new city? I think.
The first step we are planning to take is moving the administration itself to the new city. With that, like the government and all the other like agencies and ministries will have to relocate to the new city, and bringing like a new settlers to the new city that is like brand new. And that Harharan is located in, as I told you before, the western side of Mongolia, and from the western side, people will relocate there because of not only just administration. We are currently planning to develop the city with high technology industry and the medical care industry. And the tourism is very big there because of the historical background of the area, and the tourism will be very big. And international communications. Yeah, that's the international communications include like international universities and international universities and high schools and research institutes and all of that. That includes like international exchange.
Next question. So Mongolia is known to have a big and unique culture. So from what you said earlier, there are influences from the Soviet Union, and there are also a lot of history in. I forgot what his name is. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of history, I guess, and with these unique cultures and traditions, how do you preserve these cultures in their architecture in the current project?
The current project will use like Mongolian philosophy, like Mongolian architecture philosophy. It's almost everywhere. Like, do you know gear, Mongolian gear? The inside have this like philosophy of like the farthest, the northern side is for like that, and all of that. We will still keep on using that philosophy, and Mongolian urban planning has this philosophy just like Mongolian gear, and they have almost the identical philosophies, and we'll keep on using it because even Ulaanbaatar has that philosophy, which is like Hure planning, called Hure planning, and also people that we've talked with and like to exchange informations have to keep on suggesting that we should make the new city the city of nomads, because Mongolia has nomadic culture as their life in their lives, and use it like almost everywhere. And the city of nomads will like gather, will have like Mongolian culture and elements and well all of that. And we are still debating on how the new project should go, but the one thing that we've decided on is to protect the history in the area. The area that we're planning the new city on is very historical. For like 2,000 years of culture is still there, buried underground, and archaeology and history. It's full of archaeological findings and history. And by digging those up and just advertising, like just learning from the Mongolian history ourselves is the one way that we have decided on how to protect our cultures.
Okay. How crucial is the community involvement in an urban planning process?
It's very important. As far as I know, Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar gets permission whenever a new project starts. They ask for permission from the neighborhood, from the people, and if they say no, then that doesn't happen. And like that's how we've been managing it. But now, as I've said before, there are apartment buildings that have no playgrounds are being built, and now the people are starting to get involved into these things, and because they now know their votes and thought opinions matter. And but but in my opinion, we should take things a little bit further to make the people who are living there make their own plans and get involved more and manage more than how it has been.
And how do you tackle the extreme weather of Mongolia in your current project? Because as I know, I researched about it, and I think Mongolia has long winters, I think,
We do.
and short summers, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And how do you tackle it?
We just wait the winter out. Like the whole construction work stops when winter starts because it's not like safe, and the building, the concrete, and that doesn't that doesn't dry well in the cold because it just freezes, the water freezes. And in my current project, we my current project is not stopping that much. We still get to do research and all that, but like the rest of like construction work literally stops, and yeah, everything will start back up when the spring comes, when it's like -5 or something. For now, currently, let me check the weather. It's -24 actually, 24 degrees, and in the night, I think it will hit -40 for the first time this year. But yeah, it's great.
Okay. For the next question or topics, I guess. Raya Fabrice will be asking the question. If you please.
There's one topic that has been everyone talking about is artificial intelligence. What's your opinion about rapidly advancing at AI technology?
I enjoy it. It's been great so far, and yeah, how it's been great to use, and it's been great use for me. Like it's very helpful. And the AI technology, I'm not that much worried about like how it will take our jobs, I think. Yeah, it's been like great use. Like people will use it to like get help from it, but not to completely use it, because I don't think most of the people like trust AI that fully yet, and that will still take time. But my experience has been great.
Do you use it in this project? Sorry.
Oh, in my project?
Yes.
There's like I might use it if it was like available in Mongolian, but because it's all in English, there's no use for it for now. And like AI, I haven't used it much for my work yet. It's only been like daily uses, like daily project uses, I guess. Like sending an email to like people and just like and ChatGPT make this text a little bit better in English or something like that. So far, it's only been that, but it hasn't like I haven't implemented the usage of it for my work yet.
Do you think AI can replace the individual based on how the first is advancing and how some AI programs have been able to provide its user with design and even floor plan effectively?
AI replacing architects. I don't think that will happen soon because we architects we are doing the labor, like we are drawing the walls and stairs and all that. But AI might much do it much faster, but we still have to uh, check if it's correct, and like you have to know better than the AI to to make it to do it for you, I guess. Like, and I guess artificial intelligence can create something, and then there's you, like, who's making AI do it. You have to check it if it's correct. Like, you have to like let it make it change it into things and all that. So I think architects, in the end, architects are the ones who are like building the walls and measuring the built walls and just checking if everything is like going according to plan on site, just managing all of that projects. AI might be able to do it in the future, but for now, I think we're still okay.
How should we as a freshman should respond to AI technology? What do you think?
I think you guys should use it to the fullest. And like it happened before, like people used to draw by hand on like very big boards and all that. And then we went on to like just drawing things on computer. But now like we are making other things to draw for us, like draw for us and render for us. And that I feel like it's just another new possibility. It's not a competition. It's not something that we should fear. I think it's an evolution. It could be an evolution of our work pace and just the end results. It could bring much more like new things to us if it's explored very correctly in a very like in a curious way. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
Okay. So you think it's as we as a freshman should use it, but for helping, but not as main brain of us, right? Like that.
Well, like as I said before, to make AI do something, And then when you check the results, you have to be able to check the results, like to know if it's right or wrong. You have to have that knowledge beforehand, but that knowledge will, I don't think that you will learn that knowledge from the AI. But as for like the manual work, you can make AI do things. Like it's much faster if you think about it. Like there are so many stuff that you will have to do, but then like AI is just making sure like under your command it will like give the same results as the one who will give them.
Okay. Thank you for the response. And I give back the question to Fatin again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I've got another question for the AI topics. So you said
Okay.
that for now, AI cannot be used effectively because we still need to check the result after the AI technology shows the result to us. But in my opinion, I think that's just AI technology in the uh, currently in the development, right? Maybe
Yeah.
what do you think about the AI technology in the future? Will it be better in a way that AI technology can replace our jobs, or
I feel like it will I I would like to think of it as like a personal assistant, the kind that Tony Stark had in Iron Man, kind of like that, just building stuff for him and like under mm, like much more effective. And is it? I would like to think of it as just AI helping people, not like AI helping people with their work, not AI replacing people of their work. Um, Things would be much more effective, and I feel like I see a better future with AI because humans make mistakes, and like humans make a lot of mistakes. Even I make a mistake, and like if I had a little bit of help with me, like that would help me to be better, I guess. I would like to think of it as that. AI might replace some jobs, but in in exchange, it will create much more job opportunities, I think.
okay? So moving on to the next question. Uh, let us talk more about your side projects as an interior designer, correct? And can you describe your design philosophy in interior designing? Is there an influence in your designs?
The influence. Mm, I, as for interior design, the customers demand like such different things, but yet so similar in the end. Because like every year or like every year it follows the trends. The customers like come to us with like a picture in hand. I wanted to make it look like this, and then they but they like themselves researched many projects and like went through like so many pictures, but in the end they want like what's popular. And I guess the influence I have is it's based on mechanical work, I think. As I said before, in interior design, I got to experience, like, I got to learn much more about how this is created, right? And like, I I started to enjoy learning much more, like many technologies, like how this wall is built and like how it's going to last, and like that that new technologies inspire me, and my philosophy changes based on what technology I should use. Yes. And when you're making interior design, you have to think about like the what the builders are going to build and how it's going to build. You even have to draw the layers and textures, because depending on the technologies. You can make it look realistic, but I wanted to. I want to like uh, draw something that's buildable. That's my main philosophy.
What are some challenges commonly faced when doing interior designs?
Mm, the inspiration is kind of limited, in my opinion. Like for me, my inspiration, like to be inspired, you have to like learn other projects and how that's been built. But like getting inspired from other project itself is kind of problematic for me. Like as a, in my personal opinion, I always want to do what the customer thinks, but customer wants and thinks, but in the end, they still want to like follow the trend, and I would still have to like get inspiration from the trends and like other projects that people did before. And like in my personal feeling, that's kind of conflicting. Like the customers doesn't know like like how to express how they want. Like we as an architect or interior designers can draw them. Um,
I guess we move on to the next question.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Uh, what advice would you give to us freshmen, as we're currently still freshman students? Uh, yeah, what advice would you give to us currently starting out architecture school?
One regret I have for my freshman years was like not drawing enough. Just draw, like use your hand, and that's like gain that skill, like express what you want with your hands. Like you can draw it in the computer, you can like make AI do it, but in the end, that skill will last with you much longer. And I did not draw enough, and I've been busy with other things, like little small things, but I did not give my time that much time to draw. And now my drawing's done. And I still want to get back to it and then relearn it from the scratch, but like drawing makes you connect your mind to the paper, and then it gives you much more versatile way of expressing yourself. And by drawing things, you would learn much more about yourself than just writing, like copying sentences or just drawing on a computer, I guess. That is my first advice. And the second is, I'm a person who tries things out, and I would definitely recommend you guys that. Try things out and don't say no to like opportunities. And if you don't know what you want to do, if you're stuck, just like at least start doing it. You will learn it on the way. That's my advice. Like, I guess freshman year is awesome. It's nice. You meet with lots of people and you get close with your friends, and those friends will last you forever, like forever. Then, yeah, it's a whole new world waiting for you after you graduate. In jobs, you will learn much more than you ever did in school. And that's it. Learn
Okay.
as much as you can during school. It might be useful.